just summarize that for you. So, first of all, my name is Hussam Ahmed, and I'm part of the Edge Capacity Planning team within Google. And I'm based in California. I'm not sure for how long, so we'll see. So, 15169. So, mainly our infrastructure is divided to three main components. You have the data centers, which is like sits in the core of the network. Is that good or bad? I feel like I'm going back and forth like this, right? Yeah, can everyone hear me? Good? Okay, perfect. So you have the core, which is the data centers, and then you have the edge pops, and then you have the GGCs. And I'm gonna go through all of these. So for example, our core is mainly like the data centers, and for Europe, we have like five main data centers between Belgium, Finland, and Denmark, Dublin. And mainly it's like, think about it as a big core of Google, right? This is like a soccer field kind of like size, right, when you come at the data centers. And then if you go a little bit inside, then we have the edge pops, right? We have around 100 plus edge pops, and then we have like presence within like 90 plus for like the exchanges. I didn't add it here. But mainly for Middle East, and this is what you guys care about mainly, is to connect with us in many of these sites, which is mainly Fujairah, Muscat, Marseille, Milan, and Sofia. And Sofia mainly for the Iraqis, and like, you know, for Turkey, and on. And like Fujairah, Muscat, lately we've been trying to kind of advertise more local connectivity. So you'll find me talk to you and say, hey, if you can connect locally, let's do it, right? There's a lot of benefit into connect locally. We have a lot of like cached local content customized for the region within the two pops. So the more that you can get a local connectivity to us there is good. And then absolutely, as we talked before, Marseille is like a hub, right? So, and Milan as well, and Sofia. And then the GGCs, right? So you see the GGCs, I'm sure every one of you present one of the dots here. So this is like the deeper layers that we have of interconnect, right? And we almost save 60 or 80% using this, and there is a lot of benefit, as you know, right? There's benefit saving in your infrastructure. There's benefit of saving like the how we provide like better quality for end users. And oh, not working. Yeah, here we go. So I'm gonna give you some facts about traffic flows, and this is like kind of like the questions I receive over and over through the knock and so on. And mainly it's like we always prefer to serve from the GGCs, and then we follow up with direct peering and then the indirect path. Right? So this is like the preference that we go through. And we always optimize for end user delivery and performance, right? So whenever you see the traffic flow is going through a different route, it's not for any reason other than there is congestion in one of the routes, and we're trying to like do the optimum for end users. And we respect all the BGP different attributes, but we have our mapping systems that runs on top, and our mapping system always optimized for like, you know, best user performance. So you will find that if we find like a congestion, if there's a problem on the link utilization, we're always gonna reroute the traffic. And we have a mapping system that ranks the prefixes, right? So for every end user, we have a list showing like what is like the good put for each one, and we start doing ranking, and then we start using the prefixes as like one link get congested as the performance goes down. So I'm going to talk about best practices as well, like, and something like being said over and over again. Please don't TE using like hard TE, right? Don't always do prefixes. Give prefixes everywhere. This is the best practice, right? Let our system optimize for you. If you try to optimize from your end and we try to optimize from our end, we end up not doing the right thing for you and for us as well and for the users, right? Make sure that your being DB records is updated. We have a lot of automation running now, and most of our automation is using being DB. So being DB is really vital. Make sure that it's updated. We, like, you heard a lot of talk about like security and how we can make sure that BGP is secured and all of that. The BKI talk yesterday. Actually, we've been working on this, and from like starting Q2, which actually right now, we will start really filtering routes, right? Make sure that your data is updated, right? Make sure that you have everything updated. We use these, we use RDBA, RIB, and all of this. If you use some like different RIR, let us know, because we need to know about that as well, right? One more request, please don't use 8.8.8. Don't bing it, don't keep on binging this. It's not gonna give you good results, right? It's not gonna give you anything about performance, trust me, right? So please refrain from doing this. And people laughing because you know what I'm talking about, right? So, for being in GGC, like if you have any request, your first point is to go to being.google.com. Go there and register your request, right? It's gonna go to automation, and the automation is gonna deliver it to me, and that will help me kind of like better direct your request, right? And as well for operations, like issues, please go to the NOC and GGC for specific questions. And then in the portal, if you don't have access to the portal, please talk to me. Right? I have to give you access to the portal. If you have a GCC, if you have any direct connection with us, you have to have access to the portal. You can do a lot of stuff without getting back to me using the portal. And for any long-term planning, any escalations, please come to me. And as well, like really quick note, like there is minimum deployment for GCCs that we have, but like, I mean traffic volume. But if you have lower traffic, but you think the GCC is going to be beneficial to you, come talk to me. We can have a talk, because just as a reminder, like Google mission is to organize the world information and make it useful and accessible. So accessible is part of Google's mission, right? So we can support cases like this. If you wanna like appear in Fujairah and Muscat, and you have some blockers because like the landing fees with Omantel or like with Itisat, come talk to me as well. We should be able to help and try to find a way. Other than this, I'm good. If there's any more questions, then that's good. Thank you, guys.
No more questions? No. Thank you, Hussam. Now you know what he looks like. You can call him. You can send him an email. Remind him that you met him at MENOG 19, and he will help you. My next speaker is Dr. Nicola Rouhana, Managing Director of IM Capital and Vice President of the Internet Society Lebanon chapter.
Hi, everyone. So my day job is I run a VC fund, venture capital, so I sign checks for startups, if anyone is interested. And my night job is Vice President of ISOC, among others. I have to click. Okay, so a few slides about ISOC Lebanon chapter. So we're an NGO, Lebanese NGO, grassroots organization. We have 750 members and 9 very nice board members. I'm one of them, and I'm here with my president, so I have to look good and cool. And the president, current president Nabil Boukhalid, we're very proud that he got recently in the Internet Hall of Fame, so the first from the Arab region. So we're very happy. We can applaud, please. Merci, Nabil. He's done so much for the internet in Lebanon and in the region. All right, so obviously our focus areas are topics that are of interest for the country, broadband, the ever lasting battle, IPv6 deployment, and IXPs, obviously. So we have a couple of internet exchange points, as you see. The NSSEC, e-signature, passing transaction laws to the government, and a subject that's dear to my heart, innovation and entrepreneurship, because I will talk about that in a moment, and you'll see how and why, because that's why the reason I sign checks during the day. Of course, we have lots of activities. I mean, one of the most activity that we do every month is net nights, so technical talks and what have you. So I really encourage you, for those that are in Beirut, to go on isoc.org.lb, register, and please, you can receive our invites and mailing list and all the info that you can. And please do participate. We want to grow this 750 members to much higher, so that we can be a lobby in the country. So now I'll come to a few slides on this entrepreneurship and innovation. And for those who don't know, I'm sure you know that Uber has bought Careem, the Careem, which is the unicorn from the Arab region. So, and this is really food for thoughts for us. And so we think that these stories, just happen across the Atlantic, in Silicon Valley. No, they really happen from here, and we can have really potential from this region. And a few points on if Lebanon can really be or have its own Silicon Valley. So I put a few pointers, and one of them is tech entrepreneurs. You guys, are from the tech industry, so you qualify obviously as being tech entrepreneurs. And when I ask you what you need to start your startup, you say money. Obviously, that's the first thing that comes to your mind. But there is much more money than you can think of. So now I will touch about this in a few slides. So here's risk taking. What you have to lose. We're techies. We like to take risks. Try to configure a router and try to ping. It's really, you're taking a risk when you configure your network. Universities, I mean, you've heard talks about AUB doing tech stuff, etc. So we have really very good universities. The weather, I mean, can you like really imagine Silicon Valley with the bad weather? So we do have a nice weather here, and we've invented the word squimming, by the way. So you're in the perfect period to do squimming. You know what squimming is in Lebanon? You can ski and swim the same day. So you can go up, you can still do skiing in the mountain, same day in the morning, and go down and have a swim in this beautiful weather. So this is, again, something to think about. Infrastructure, obviously, legal and what have you. Internet, very important. So that's why MENOG, I think that this is very important for us to end the Arab world, to uplift the internet. Technology, science parks, and success stories such as Kareem, and I'll mention a few in a moment, which inspire these tech entrepreneurs to become really success stories, because if they can do it, they'll say, I can do it. So voila, the money that exists today in Lebanon. So it's more than $500 million of investments, money to be invested in startups. And all of those bricks that exist in Lebanon today are all searching for these success stories and this unicorn type of deals. And so you can see if you the number of really institutions that really are here to help entrepreneurs from the idea stage to really the Series A or Series B type of funding or exit. So we're here, lots of support. Yes, it can be done. If others can make it, I mean, there's no excuse. You don't have an excuse. You can make it. So we have accelerators, we have angel networks, we have, I mean, Salam is one of those women angel networks. She sits here, by the way. She's a member of the Lebanese Women Angel Fund. So she has money to invest in startups. So, so again, talk to Salam. She can send you small checks. So I mean, and if you're not Lebanese, you want to come to Lebanon to start up your business, you can do that as well. I mean, these guys are not for just Lebanese based startups. And of course, there are lots of hackathons, that go on, and startup weekends, and all over Lebanon, so in Tripoli, in the south, etc. So again, lots of current support. At Internet Society, we do participate in this as well. We have a mentorship force that goes into hackathons and is involved in all of those startups competition and in juries and what have you, to be able to support and to give our expertise in the technology for these tech entrepreneurs. Of course, we made the news, so now the news, and the media is really talking about entrepreneurship. So every time you open a page, you see a startup or something being created, etc. A couple of success stories. The first guitar tuner hardware comes from Lebanon, so this is unique. It's called Rodi Tuner. And the first goggle that measures your heart rate when you swim is again from a woman, lady Lebanese entrepreneur. Not even she's less than 30 years old. Little engineer. So both of them are engineers and less than 30 years old, by the way. So for your info. So again, if they can make it, I mean, you don't have an excuse. You can make it. So there is more supply than demand. Yeah. So this is what I want to tell you. There are lots of people that have money, don't know what to do with it. So I really invite you to enterprise and to start up. And voila. Thank you very much. Questions? Also? How's that for lighting?
My next speaker is myself, Salam Yammout. I will put on the PC hat. As you know, yeah, I have many hats, but I will speak for the MENOG program committee. So, you had a good day yesterday and today. Was it a good meeting? أنا شو هيدا yes يعني إنه yes يعني not a good. Was it a good meeting? Did you learn anything new? Did you meet somebody that is going to make the difference in your business tomorrow and the day after tomorrow? Okay, that's the idea. So my lightning talk about what do we go from here? What's next? Okay, we had a good 2 days, and now what do we do? So the first thing you need to to know and to be reminded of is that the internet is in the making. The internet of today is not the internet of 25 years ago. 25 years ago, they have 7 RFCs, 7 protocols. Today, they have 8,000 protocols, okay? SMTP is one of the first protocols, but today we have a lot more protocols than FTP, Telnet, SMTP. We are making the internet. And how do we make the internet? Through meetings, okay? So if you want to influence the future of the internet, if you want to have a say in its future, you have to go and meet the people that are making the internet everywhere. How do you start that? My experience is I started, not even though I'm a computer engineer and I'm a technical person, I started in internet governance, believe it or not. After I had set up the Beirut Internet Exchange Point, I was invited to be a speaker at the Internet Governance Forum in Hyderabad in 2007. So I started here. A nice way to start an internet is to go to the IGF. There are national IGFs. Lebanon, for example, has an IGF, Tunisia, Morocco. Or a regional IGF. There's an Arab IGF. Also, there's a North African IGF. So there's also the global IGF that happens once every year. You can also go to an ICANN meeting where you will know more about DNS and you will understand. When you go to this first category of meetings, you will understand everything because it's a language, it's internet governance languages. You know, it's not necessarily very technical. The next step to go is to the network operators meeting, like this one, MENOG, okay? Or peering forums. And I will talk a little bit more about this. And this is very important that you do not wait for MENOG once a year. Please take the time, go convince your boss, take a vacation, go to one of the meetings, and talk to other network operators from around the world. And the third step, only for the courageous, only for the intrepid, is the IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force. It's the mother of all meetings. It's where the protocols are being made. Everybody is equal, but it's a very tough meritocracy. We don't like to think about it this way in the Middle East because we like our cousins and our friends to give us a certain position, but at the IETF, you prove yourself to be technically good, you will make it. You will be a working group chair, you will become a leader, okay? So this is a slide about IETF, you can read it later, but it happens 3 times a year, 1 time always in Europe. There's a mailing list, you can go and subscribe to the mailing list, start following the conversation before you go to your first IETF, and I encourage you to do so. The big 3 network operators, the giant 3 of the world, are the RIPE for this region, but not only European network operators go to RIPE meetings, also American one, everyone goes to RIPE meetings. The second one is Apricot, the operators meeting for Asia and Pacific, and MENOG, where the network operators of United States and Canada meet. And MENOG is very big because, you know, all the big companies are American, so you will see all the Apples and the Googles and the Amazons, and I will not say them all. Okay. The major network regional groups are MENOG, ENOG from the former Soviet Union, SANOG, South Asia region for Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and Iran also is in both NOGs. And Afrinic also has a NOG, AFNOG. And very importantly, there are 2 countries in the Middle East who decided to do their own NOGs all by themselves in very difficult conditions. Iran and Sudan. I really applaud them. We should applaud them. And they did it all by themselves. And by the way, after this closing ceremony, there's a buff about how to create your own NOG in your own country. If you're interested, please do not miss this important buff. And there is the EAGE. EAGE is for the Research and Education Network. When my friend Maria from Sweden came to Lebanon the first time, she said, "What is the name of your university network?" I said, "We don't have a university network." She could not believe it because the internet was started by these university networks. if it wasn't for the universities at the early age, there would be maybe no internet. So it's very important for us to have a research and education network in every country. And we have a ASREN, which is an NGO that is trying to connect all these national education networks to each other. And finally, there's an OIC cert, it's one of the biggest cert for a security meeting. And this is the Islamic State's cert. It's a very big one. It happens usually in December and maybe Dubai this year. Okay? That's all I wanted to say. Please do not stop here and continue your involvement with MENOG and other network operators group. This is how you will grow as a career, as a professional. Your network will grow, your connections will grow, and this is where your network and maybe your country will get to the next level.